Even with the fucking headset it came with, it still doesn't fucking work. Okay. Why why include a microphone in the headset if it's not going to use the microphone? Why? Oh, you know what? I'm using logic. That's the problem. Well, this is a quick and dirty. Actually, a rather topical quick and dirty. This is in response to one of Aaron Clary's latest asshole consulting videos. This is also was a test of basically a new setup. I wanted to see how this thing would react to its actual original headset. Apparently, it doesn't fucking work. I also wanted to see what kind of attention I would actually get around this time in the afternoon, where I might have 30 minutes or 45 minutes or an hour or so. Yes, well, this is in response to Claire. Juan, you know any martial arts or fighting styles or anything like that? Because that's what this is in reference of. The title I'm looking at is what martial arts does Cappy recommend? And the guy, I think he asked for 5 of them specifically. Now, how he knew there was 5 to choose from, you be my guest on that one. But I figured I'd give my answer as far as that goes. But before we do that, the clip he has is 9 minutes 29 seconds long. And so I figured I'd play this first, just to give kind of context to what I'm saying and kind of give me a refresher of exactly what he was asking for. So it's just so I can make sure I answer the question, as best I can. In high school, I did a little bit of Greco-Roman wrestling. You're not wrong. A lot of people actually brought this up in the comment section. I'm reading from that as well. But let's make sure this is nice and turned up. Oh God, what are you doing now? What are you doing now? Just calm your tits. I don't need you to open 100 fucking settings. Just do what I tell you. All right. Cappy reaches out to his audience to get a more official opinion for a client. Oh, do I have opinions on this? I might just have. Might have some experience and training in this. Listen to that, and I'm going to drink my coffee.
You're such an asshole.
Ooh, it's hot.
God, I'm glad I'm staying on top of that. You got two just came in since I was starting at late night, Cappy.
I'm going to assume he's talking about the payments. He gets paid for these.
And I got to be honest, I don't know the answer to this because I've only participated in one martial arts, and that was jiu-jitsu. To be perfectly honest, I didn't like it, but I'll go ahead.
Jiu-jitsu in quotation marks.
Aaron, your content helped me choose the right major for college, got me appreciating my phone, and opened my mind to the truth about the real world. I'm in my early 20s, and I wish I found your channel and books much earlier than I did. Your content is an investment I never regretted. Thank you. That's what those books are. It's an investment. You hopefully got your return on investment. Here's the questions I'd like you to answer in a video response. Which 5 martial arts or fighting styles, kung fu, boxing, etc., do you think are most practical for the average young man in the United States, like myself?
Practical being
if you could explain briefly why each of the 5 martial arts fighting styles are the most practical to you. Make it long or short as you see fit.
You spell jiu-jitsu the correct way, by the way,
Students are closed or limited in capacity. But I would like to know so I can choose.
And you're right, and I'm going to explain that in a moment.
Keep me anonymous in the video. Well, like I said, I don't know. I've never practiced 5. I can only tell you what I know from what limited experience I have in one of them, and then other things that I would observe. So I'm going to reach out to the audience, and hopefully somebody who has much more experience across different disciplines could tell you which ones. It is. I would like to say I know this for a fact, but I'm sure everyone else has a different opinion. But it is largely determined that jiu-jitsu is the best for actual fighting. Now, some people say Krav Maga, but the jiu-jitsu, like most of it, ends up on the ground, and it's best to learn how to wrestle and fight and do it that way.
That's judo.
It also empirically has been proven to be as such in that if you remember, what was it? tough man competitions. Like you could come in with any style, and I think the jiu-jitsu guys just kept dominating. And so that was the ultimate form. You know, you go up against a guy in kung fu, jiu-jitsu guy wouldn't go. So
don't worry, Juan, I got you covered on this one.
Judo, and the guy doing jiu-jitsu would win. So for practicality, assuming it's self-defense, or you just want to beat the crap out of someone and make it look like self-defense, they should start it, though. Jiu-jitsu seems to be the most practical. Now, I've had other people, a guy I know in particular, who's a very interesting fellow, very successful, a little bit elder gentleman, and he swears by Krav Maga. And he says that's way more efficient with, like, pressure points and de-arming people. It's what the Israeli Special Forces
disarming.
Teach. So I've heard that's also very practical as well. So you could, I guess you could pick up Krav Maga. Me, I hated him. I hated jiu-jitsu. I mean, it was fun, and so I should say I hated it, but it was like going to the gym. It's like just something you do. It was a chore. And then it got me into the thinking, like, if I were to ever return to martial arts, you're in a, let's say you're thinking for defense. Okay, you want to be able to take out a guy who's bigger than you or multiple guys. I think you got to go with what you like, because I'd rather be a black belt kickboxer than a no belt jiu-jitsu guy who, you know, won his weight class because his weight class was a bunch of limp-wristed freshmen in high school who didn't take their training seriously. And so I went as long as I lived over in Wyoming, but then I left, and I never picked it up again because I just didn't want to do it. Whereas I just think boxing seems a little bit more fun, and kickboxing would seem a little bit more fun. You're standing up, and let's say you really take to it and you enjoy it. Well, all of a sudden you're a blue belt, maybe you make brown belt. Okay, fine. Jiu-jitsu may be the superior fighting
boxing has
technique,
belts,
but
kickboxing
if you're a
maybe
brown belt and pretty much any martial art, depending if they go on that color coordination, you're going to be better than the rookie guy who begrudgingly goes to take something because it's, quote, practical. So if I were to do that, I would like to be more on my feet. I don't need another guy's crotch or foot in my face again. I don't need to smell some guy's ball sack.
Yeah,
because my sentiments, some screwed up wrestling position doing jiu-jitsu. So I think boxing or kickboxing. Karate, me, I don't know. You get to get more into meditation, and I've not. The most violent karate fight I saw was on the Karate Kid movie. You know, that's not real. I'm sure there's some places where it's actually badass, but it's like, okay, I can see boxing. You actually want to knock the other guy out. You ain't wrong. So that's what I would recommend. And the fifth one, I don't know, an actual physical contact karate, not just like, oh, I touched him on his neck, that kind of thing.
Oh, that bullshit, point fighting.
But I'm sure, but that's my limited.
Fucking hated that shit.
My very limited, uninformed opinion. I'd be very curious to see what other people say.
Let me bring a comment section up real quick.
And I'd like to see people who've practiced across all this.
Holy shit, there's 129 of them now.
Jiu-jitsu's the best. Did you do anything but jiu-jitsu? No. Well, how do you know? Because I know guys that love it, man. I know a bunch of guys, great guys, and they love it, and they're good at it. But dude, I don't want to roll on a mat with you. I really don't want to roll on a mat with you. I'd rather stand up here and punch, and then run like a little girl up mountains so I can escape and use my spry cardio ability, my superior cardio. That's the other thing is like you gotta play your strength. So like I always had this idea, like if I ever had to fight multiple people or one big guy, I would like punch and get the hell away, and then punch, make them wear themselves out. Or if I was in a sparring,
that's actually something we talked about. Fighting off multiple people. Maybe I'll bring that up too.
And then go in and get them. But that's a nice plan until you're rolling around with a guy's ball sack in your face. So there you go. Hopefully you get some people that have some opinion here. We already got boxing for fist fights, jiu-jitsu for knife fights, jiu-jitsu for knife wins. Yeah, I mean, you should have a gun or mace. Gunfighting. I know, guys. I know. Judd Grover, $2. Learn Shotokan karate as a boy. Good foundation. Nonstop trade. Cappy content is one of the best investments. Yeah, it's pretty cheap. Look at it. It's like I'm practically like The vaccine for measles. It's like, well, for $2 you get this vaccine and you avoid $10,000 of pain or whatever it costs to treat measles. I don't know. Yeah, nonstop Dre 360, $2. Sounds like a question for Ed Lattimore or Donovan. Jack Donovan or Donovan Sharp?
I don't know which Donovan he's talking about, but Ed Lattimore is a boxer.
At the for $2. Boxing and wrestling, my 2 cents. Was it Mexican wrestling? Like, is that different than American? I don't mean with the luchador mask. I mean, is it you stand one arm on the elbow, the other guy, one guy on all fours? Is it the same universal?
No, this is Zatham we're talking about here.
That was big in Wisconsin. Your dream in Wisconsin was to go to state. For the boys, it would be wrestling, and for the girls, it would be volleyball. You know what happened? Our high school made it to state. You know what happened to those guys? Nothing. They just went to state. And then they could say they went to state, and then I don't know whatever happened to any of those people afterwards.
Good for them.
I don't think anything, frankly. I'm lettering. Oh, do people even letter anymore? Do they letter anymore?
Any other comments? Okay,
200 Krav Maga plus Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Marcus recommends Taekwondo and Judo.
Taekwondo, all right. Yeah, might have some experience with that.
Brazilian jiu-jitsu with boxing. Okay. I'd be curious because I've been kind of like, I like to go back into the ring and hang out with a bunch of guys. No, good old English wrestling. Okay, all right, so it is universal.
English wrestling, cool. Okay.
It's the same thing. All right, there you go, kids. Questions, answers, assholeconsulting.com. Hang on one more. Mega Shredder 101. Just got back from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class. Okay.
There's a whole lot of blowjob jiu-jitsu going on here, apparently.
You're not going to lose out learning anything there. I'm just wondering, Yeah, here, Muay Thai. All right.
And Muay Thai,
assholeconsulting.com.
okay.
See you guys later. Toodles.
All right. That's the video. He wanted help with that one. So... Give me a second. They get the right button. Etsy.com/shop/Lazarus Razors. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Team sober today.
Oh, really?
I was just drinking coffee, man. I just got up a few hours ago. I got to work later.
Yeah, that hurricane that's coming through on this side of town here, it knocked out it knocked down part of my back fence. So
no shit.
Yeah, there's a couple of 4x4 posts, fence posts, or they were dry rotted at the ground, and that wind just knocked them over.
So fuck.
I've got about 4 bags of concrete mix, of post hole diggers, some fencing posts, and some fence picking or pickets.
Oh, so that's your exercise for today, is what you're saying?
Well, I had all this shit staged like a week ago, but then the next day I threw my back out, and so I've been recovering ever since. And today I'm feeling pretty good. So
okay, good. Oh, glad to hear you're feeling better. Not a good thing about your fence there, but it sounds like you're at least prepared for it.
Oh yeah. It's gonna take me a few hours to. I've done fence work before. Jesus Christ, I just don't want to do postal diggers again.
I don't blame you. Actually, I just did that for my buddy. She's putting kind of some light fencing up in her barn area. I actually just dug a few of those.
Yeah. I was trying to see if the local, because we have like Lowe's and Home Depot here. I was wanting to see if I could rent an auger, but they didn't have one, motherfuckers.
Oh,
it's just
that'll make it a lot easier.
Oh yeah, like no time at all. Basically, all an auger is it's just a contraption. It's got a big drill bit looking thing, and it just drills the damn. It's electric or gas powered. All it does is just drill the damn hole in the ground for you.
Right.
It's pretty easy. But they didn't have one, and I think you could buy one, but that thing was like a couple grand. I was like, I don't know. Not for one job, man.
Yeah, no, that's something you definitely want to rent rent for you want to rent, and then unless you're in the business,
Yeah,
like you don't want to buy one, you know.
yeah. You know, one thing I did buy though, not to get too far off subject, was a damn power washer. Man, if you ever move into your own home or something, just buy a power washer because you're gonna need that damn thing.
Now, I get the idea, but for somebody who's not a homeowner who may be listening to this, what's something you might use a power washer for? You know, you might not think of if you just rent a place.
Well, for me, my house has like it doesn't have, it's not faced in brick all the way around. It's faced in like a siding. You know, it's kind of like a faux wood siding.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so it's cool, but and it's sturdy. But the thing is that it has a preponderance to get to grow mold on the side of the house, on the siding
Oh,
itself, and that's not so bad. But I have a corner lot inside the subdivision, inside my neighborhood. I have a corner house, big, you know, big ass 2-story, and so I get letters from the HOA every spring to once or twice every spring to say you gotta power wash or get rid of that mold on the outside facing wall of your house. And so the first time I got it, I was like, I think I paid a dude like $200 to do it. And then after that, I'm like, dude, I can just do this myself. So I bought a not like a commercial power washer, but like a little rinky dink power washer off of Amazon. I just started doing it myself, and it was cheaper too. Because I think the power washer was like $130. But you'll need it for that. You'll need it. I use it to clean out my Weber grill. I clean my driveway with it. My car. Clean my car with it because I got that foam attachment, that little foam gun.
huh. I didn't know they came with that, but that makes sense.
Yeah, I got like a foam gun attachment, and that works really good. And then driveways, sidewalks, just the house. Oh, it fucking destroys wasp nest too. Those motherfuckers don't know what hit them.
Oh, huh.
So if you're
Cool. You know what? Hey, we got murder hornets up here. I didn't know if you knew this. We are the originators of the U.S. population of murder hornets. So anything can get rid of those. Like I'm 100% in.
well, we have down here, you got the red wasps and stuff, but we have what's called yellow jackets, and these little these yellow jackets, they're yellow and black, and they're fucking ferocious, especially during summertime. They're very territorial, and they will chase you if you get too close to them. And the bad thing about them is that they key off of vibrations on the ground. So if you get too close to their nest with like a lawnmower or tractor or something like that, or even if you're just like running around their nest and not even messing with it, the vibration triggers them, and they'll start to swarm around, and they will chase you down for a good several 10 feet. You'll have to ask me how I know. And
I believe you.
And their stings are really bad too, because they can sting you multiple times. They're not like bees. Them fuckers, they can hit you multiple times. And if you ever get one caught inside your shirt or something, God help you. Ask me how I know.
Not something I don't. That's not something I've dealt with, nor do I want to. It's one of those things I'm okay with not having life experience on.
Yeah. There's stings, as far as like stings go. Their stings pretty hot too. Like you'll feel it. It's not like a bee sting. It's got some punch behind it.
Jesus.
Yeah, you'll start like I can handle bee stings. Bee stings aren't that bad. But we call them yellow jackets or guinea wasps, and those some bitches, man, for such a little wasp, man, their venom is, it just burns. You immediately swell up.
I've heard that about wasps.
Yeah, these are bad. I'd rather because I've been stung by a red wasp before. I'd rather get stung by them than a yellow jacket. Because most of those red wasps, they just hit you one time and run off. They're not. They're like they're scared. You know, they're not.
Oh,
Tripping.
it's mostly self-defense.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of what we're talking. Kind of what we're talking about here. Okay.
Yeah, the yellow jackets, so they're aggressive. They're
Think we lost him. Laura, is she still there? I think the hurricane got him. Oh shit. Oh boy. All right. Well. Holy crap. Learn to box. I'm looking at the comment section in this video, by the way. I'm not sure if Bull Rush went. He's still here? I'll try something. No, I want to do that. Bull Rush, if you can still hear me, your audio cut out. All right, we'll get to the comments in a moment. But I did want to answer. Well, you know what? Sprinting. I've heard that before. You know, Aaron brought it up too. And one, I'll answer your question. I actually do have the answer to your question coming up. All right. I don't know where Bull Rush went, but oh, there you go. There's your. I don't know how you defend yourself against loss for yellow jackets. You get the fuck out of there, or you get a pressure washer. You get a pressure washer. By the way, depending on some of those, I wonder how well you can use actually use one of those in the self-defense scenario. Like you're spraying off your driveway or something, and you know your HOA comes up and starts talking shit, and you know like has like a chancla or something there. You know, like you can pressure washer in the face, maybe. I don't know. You know, he's got a good point. I actually had to deal with my buddy. I think she had they're either yellow jackets or Hornets or something like that. No, I don't think they were yellow jackets. They were something else. I can't remember what they are, but they have like this kind of honeycomb things they build up under rafters. Yeah, and she had to get the spray for one of those. And there was one part where like they were at where she like we were scraping. And I was like, I'm gonna go scrape over here. Now she went to go do it, and then they all went and fucking attacked her. I was like, yeah, you go have fun with that. All right. So the question was, the guy asked, he wanted 5 styles of self-defense or martial arts or fighting styles or whatever. Something involving hand to hand. And so I have 5. I took a little bit of time to think and write a few of these down. I actually went through my article. Hang on. Let me see if I can go find it and put it in the chat. Watch, I lose the fucking stream. Well, I already fucked this up. Give me a moment. Hopefully we're still recording. All right. Yeah, we're still on. Good. Or are we? Nope, there it is. Let's see. Read Juan's comment. I disagree with Aaron from my experience. People don't get higher rank and belts because the fuck of it. You actually have to earn it. Most martial arts. We're going to talk about McDojos, actually, Juan, so... So that's the article. I actually looked over this at refs because God knows am I going to fucking remember everything I learned. Oh, copy the clipboard. I'll throw this in the comment section too. There we go. So I have 5 that I've written down here. Now what I'm thinking is Joe Dolio talked about this tactical-wisdom.com, by the way, where he does have a lot of good information, about self-defense, different techniques, not involving, the AR-15s and 9mm pistols and all this other shit that other preppers always talk about. That's what everybody defaults to. Dude, bro, grab a gun, 223, 556, reach out and touch him, bro. Your pistol's only used to get to your rifle. Those people, okay, fine. Leaving out the people who don't even fire at people threatening to burn their goddamn house down are the ones getting arrested. All right. So this is the first one I have written down. Now, this is not one that I have learned. Maybe I've learned a little bit of it. So I guess this is one thing that I can actually preach from practical standpoint. What in fuck's name? What the fuck? Great. Professional fucking broadcast. Oh, God. We continue. What is fucking beeping in the background? The fuck you, Google Play. I'm gonna fucking disable your ass. Boxing is the first one. Now, let's talk about boxing's drawbacks. Obviously, there's no kicks involved. And as I saw one of the comments we'll be reading here after I'm done with this, it doesn't utilize kicks. It doesn't utilize throws. It's just striking. Primarily, it's striking against one person in what's basically a controlled environment. And if you check that article out, one of the reasons I wrote is because some kid boxer that was talking a lot of shit. It was in part of the inspiration that I wrote that. But its benefits is that it is a quote unquote full contact fighting style. There's no rolling around on the mat. There's no real point fighting. The only points you get carded on is if you make it the full 12 rounds. But you do run the risk of getting your ass knocked the fuck out, or even worse. Again, its range of strikes is limited, but you know what? If you're gonna pick up and learn something, you may want to learn it quickly. 24 days to go, by the way. That's something that you might want to consider. And then consider that most people don't really know how to utilize kicks. Those are a lot harder to pull off. Unless you have a lot more training. So that's where boxing really would help you out. All right. We're wondering if the hurricane got you, Bull Rush.
Yeah, the wind is gusting, so it's affecting the power lines, and it's every time it wind gusts, the power trips.
Oh.
The power goes out, so it affects electronics.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Well, fuck it. What can you do? Yeah. If we cut off again, then it's probably because a tornado or some shit got me. I don't know.
In which case, you won't have to worry about the fence post, anyways. At least your worries.
Goddamn right. Shit.
Oh, there's one thing you can get that might help, and I actually want to do an expansion on this. I have what is it? They're called APCs, and basically it's backup power.
Oh,
It's made for like your computers and stuff. You know, like if the power goes out, it gives you enough time to shut down your desktop.
yeah, power banks. They're pretty good. I was looking into some myself because maybe not a whole, maybe not like a full size desktop, but like if you got a phone or something, because they also charge. They have a charging banks and stuff too that you can use.
Yeah.
So, and I was looking into those. They have some good ones for less than $100, but that's a good idea to look into.
Yeah. I've got 2 of them, and one of the things I want to do, I looked inside one of these and one of the batteries. Basically, what it is a rectifier. Rectifier is it's the reverse of a power inverter. And what it does, it turns house current basically into it could turn house current basically into car current or whatever. I think it uses a 12-volt battery. So what the idea I was kicking around is getting like a marine battery and just attaching it to that. So that way, you know, like you'd have extended power, not for like, you know, you're not microwaving shit all day or anything like that. But you, I mean, you could, you know, I don't know, you could run your Wi-Fi router, because that doesn't depend necessarily on the power grid. You know, like as long as whatever internet service provider has power, you know, you still have it. I actually went through a power outage where I still had Wi-Fi, and the reason is because it was plugged into one of those, and those don't use all that much energy.
Right.
All right, I went over the first. So in case you're wondering, the guy who Aaron was answering, he for whatever he asked for 5 different fighting styles or martial arts or just hand-to-hand, whatever. I have 5 of them written down. The first one I went over with was boxing, actually. And the reason I started with boxing was because I'm assuming this guy is starting from basically ground zero. Mm-hmm. And that would be like one of the best things to get him up. Now, granted, you know, I went over the disadvantage, the drawbacks. Not much footwork aside from just moving around, and it's basically it's a sport. You know, it's designed to fight against one person in a controlled arena.
Right.
But it definitely is you know, it definitely is hard contact. Like, you know, if you're fucking around, you will get knocked the fuck out. You know, yeah. It's not like with dojo theory thing.
Yeah, I like most people that I've talked to who want to get into some sort of martial arts, I've always referred them to boxing first because it's a good start. Usually, most of your street fights and stuff like that, that's not in a controlled environment. Number one, you don't want to go to the ground at all. I don't care if you're 1-on-1 or 3-on-1. If you go to the ground, you're most likely going to get your ass stomped on. Boxing is a good start because it teaches you spatial awareness, and you can actually use it to engage multiple people, as long as you're aware of your surroundings and stuff, and you just stay moving, you know. And boxing's a good thing to do that. The mixed martial arts and shit like that, the Brazilian jiu-jitsu and stuff. Yeah, I mean, you can take that later on, but you know, it's one of those kind of things. I like to focus on shit that you can actually use, that's applicable to real world environments, and so that's why I like boxing the most.
Right. I've got that coming up actually. I have a whole breakdown on the whole jiu-jitsu thing.
Yeah.
Let me know if you agree or not.
Because I mean, we did when I was in the military, they taught us like a form, you know, kind of like our hand-to-hand combat training is mixed martial arts style.
Hey, you know? What is that called again? Because I have that written down. I have other stuff written down here that I can't really speak to because I never did it, but I just know of it. What's it called again?
When I don't know if they changed it. As far as I know, it's called it's an acronym. It's MCMAP, Marine Corps Martial Arts Program. Okay. And yeah. Before then, it was called line fighting. You know, for the old guys. The old guys, they kind of date themselves when they call it line fighting.
But I like that actually.
Yeah, but our McMat program, it also incorporates, like, it's mixed martial arts, but it's like dirty fighting. Like it's fighting to kill somebody. So a lot
In other words, what fighting program is what it's supposed to be for. Like you get this shit done and move on to whatever the hell else you need to do.
right, and they also incorporate bayonet fighting, knife fighting. That's all part of the program.
All right, and about Joe Dolly is going to show up in 3, 2,
Yeah.
1.
Speak of the devil, right?
All right. Next one. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
But like an example of that, like I think like in Brazilian jiu-jitsu and stuff, and the octagon fight, like there are some sweeps and stuff that are illegal, that they're not allowed to use. There are some I think there are some chokeholds that they don't allow, inside that. I'm sure you can teach it, but like like when you do a leg sweep, we were taught to drive the back of your boot heel into their Achilles tendon.
Ooh, yeah, that'll do it.
And try to just fuck that tendon up as much as you can. Now that's not something that you would be taught in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, I don't think.
I doubt. Yeah, I definitely have my doubts about that. By the way, just a quick health tip before I move on to the next one here. I don't know how old you are. This is something I'm paying attention to now. Apparently, the age. Apparently, this affects guys. They're the most likely to actually snap their Achilles tendon around the age of 37. That's not based on what I've heard. I think that's happened to a student or two in our class. That is probably one of the worst fucking things you can go through. Aside from, I don't know, maybe get your testicles caught in the park bench or something. I'm going to do all my prevention to make sure that shit doesn't happen. So,
well, the thing about
the
thing about the Achilles tendon is, like, whenever you have to understand, it's like a rubber band. So if you get a full separation of the Achilles tendon, what it does, it basically, when it comes off, it goes back up into your back of your calf muscle.
Yeah.
So doctors got to open you up. Yeah, they got to open you up and pull that son of a bitch back down. And the other thing about tendons and stuff like that is they take forever to heal because they have such a low amount of blood flow to them. Okay, it's not like muscle stuff that are having an enormous amount of blood flow to it. And blood flow to an organ or a body part is critical in its healing process. The more blood flow you have, the faster it's going to heal. The less blood flow you have, like with tendons and cartilage and stuff, it's going to take forever.
That's not something I had considered, actually.
That's why that's why knee replacements and stuff, like knee replacements, anything you have to do on joints, take forever to rehab. It take a year or more to rehab because of the low amount of blood flow to it.
Also, knees and lower backs is something people always complain about when they get older. And I think that's definitely a prevention thing.
Yeah, that's kind of like the last parts of what I have. I have spinal stenosis in my L5, so.
I don't think that was because you were skipping back day. Between me and you.
Nah, it's a problem that you get from lifting too much heavy shit and doing too much manual labor over the course of your life. It catches up to you.
There is that. The next, I have number 2 that came to mind. Now, this comes with a caveat, and this is actually where I got my start into martial arts. Karate, specifically Shorin-ryu and Shotokan. How much do you know about, like, karate specifically?
Not a whole lot. And one thing I know is that there's a lot of different variations of it. But I'm always of the mind that something's better than nothing with any of this stuff, Yeah.
Joe said the same thing.
Yeah, I like judo. I also like judo, though. I think judo is a really good martial art to get into.
Judo's not bad too. I'm going to write down another one actually.
Because I think judo has a lot more to do with joint locks and stuff like that and throws. it's kind of like low. It's not like a high contact like boxing. You know, it's not like really a striking kind of martial art, as far as I understand it.
No, it isn't.
But it's more just joint locks, wrist, elbow, shoulder, and shit like that. And that's we were taught a lot of those when I was McNabb. They used that quite a bit.
That's actually the next one I have coming up. Actually, well, I guess I shouldn't. I have it written down a different way, but I'll do judo a little bit of justice here. Yes, this is a sober show, Nick. Oh yeah, you go ahead and drink the beers there. The reason I'm bringing karate is well, I'll give you the history of karate. It actually comes from kung fu. In kung fu actually does have a lot of different styles. The thing about kung fu is that in order to truly master, like any fist you do, that takes upwards of almost that could take upwards of 10 years to actually learn.
Yeah.
Now, this was actually taught to Okinawans. They were fighting against I think it was a Japanese occupation. They didn't exactly have 10 years to fucking learn this shit. So they got basically what was a crash course. You know, basically it was boiled down to you in 6 months you were basically good to go. And one of the tenets of karate is it's like sniper shot, like one shot, one kill. That's what a lot of their punches or kicks or whatever or even throws were for. I mean, so as far as like just straight up effectiveness, think one of the forms. Basically, it's just footwork and punches. That's all it is. I can't remember exactly what it is. It's Shotokan specifically. That teaches that one.
Yeah, so it seems like it favors striking and stuff like that a lot. Like
it favors strikes, blocks. By the way, how many blocks are in karate?
I don't know. I have no idea. I've never.
I'll give you the 4, and then I'll give you the real answer. There's upward blocks. That's actually what I use against that skateboarder. There's downward blocks. That's good for kicks. There's outward blocks. It's for like kind of like swing, like kind of like haymaker stuff. There's inward blocks. That's for more in stride ones. The real answer is there are no blocks. They're all strikes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, basically, you either you can use them to strike different parts of the body or use it for different effects. But yeah, another thing is that it really focuses on stance too. Like you talked about never going to ground.
Yeah.
If you get somebody who actually has studied and practiced karate, good luck getting that fucker on the ground because he ain't going.
Well, like with McNabb and stuff too, they teach you how to fall as well. Like
yukimis, yeah.
They teach you how to fall so you don't hurt yourself, and they also teach you how to get back up and create space between you and whoever you're fucking fighting. That's what I like about that's why I started to like about McNabb was that it takes a little bit from a whole bunch of different types of martial art disciplines, and they just take the best stuff and try to incorporate it together. So
right, yeah, this is actual martial arts, not Mick martial arts.
Yeah, it's shit that you can use, and it's effective, and you can teach it fairly.
I think his power went out again. Oh, there it is.
No, I'm here.
Nice, I like it. Yeah, I actually have that written in my extras thing. What the hell is going on now? Jesus Christ! I'll put this fucking thing in airplane mode if I actually had Wi-Fi. At least you have Wi-Fi. Apparently they can't install it at my place right now. Roof is too steep.
Oh, I actually have because this subdivision I moved into, it's fairly new. It's only been around I think they built it like a decade ago or so, or like 15 years ago. But we have they put fiber optic cable lines instead of cable. So I have a fiber optic internet.
And that's what I was supposed to get here. Guy took a look. It was like, yeah, I don't know about this. Like we'd having to like get on the roof and shit, and like I can't blame him. I fell off of my fucking roof trying to get something off of it. So I can understand that. The third one I have here, actual jujitsu. Now, I don't know if you know anything about like the art. What jujitsu means, it's basically ju is the word 10 in Japanese. Um, Jiu-jitsu is actually the complete art. That's what the samurai learned, and that doesn't just include hand-to-hand striking. That includes throws. That includes eye gouges. Includes takedowns. Includes bojitsu. That's the staff form, the big stick.
Yeah.
No pun intended. There's kenjutsu, using sword. Ie jitsu or aido if it's drawn down. So basically everything. It's a complete art. Now judo, which is what you talked about before. That is a form of jujitsu, but it has all the quote unquote nasty stuff taken out of it.
Oh, okay.
So it's also I think you still have the chokeholds, some of the chokeholds, takedowns or whatever. By the way, I got another question for you. You know how many chokeholds there are in jiu-jitsu?
I'm thinking there's like a lot.
There are, but the answer again is none. They're all breaks.
Really?
At least that's what we were taught.
Hmm.
My favorite being the Japanese deathlock. Basically, you get the guy's neck in between both of you, kind of like in between both of your forearms. And you kind of grab them like both of your elbows, and you just kind of squeeze. I've actually had to use that one.
Yeah, I thought that was like a triangle choke.
Nah, triangle choke. That's the one where you kind of have a one hand on your forearm, and you're using that as leverage.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what we were taught.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's the first one. That's the first one we were taught.
That's like that's like one of the first chokes that we were ever taught was triangle choke.
Yeah, that's one of the easiest ones to pull off.
Because honestly, it's one of the easiest ones to pull off, and it's super effective. I mean, you could be 150 pounds soaking wet, and if you get position on a guy twice your size, he's going to sleep.
Oh, I got a question for you, by the way, because this is something I've talked about before. How long should it take for a chokehold to be effective?
Oh, well, I've had several performed on me, and it's taken all like a properly applied chokehold, bro. You're going to sleep in about three to 5 seconds. Like you're going black, like you're blacking out.
Exactly. Yep, that's exactly what we're talking. Like
it's
4 seconds.
It's fast. It's like you just go to sleep. Like you just like that. You just go out. It's weird to explain. It's like falling asleep. You just don't know you're doing it, and it just happens.
Yeah, you wake up on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, proper chokehold. I guess as sort of a side tangent here. Proper chokehold. It doesn't target your airways. It targets the blood going to and from your brain.
Yeah,
that's why
the whole point is to cut off the circulation of your brain from the through the carotid arteries on both sides of your neck.
Right.
A typical air choke, or what we call the stupid man choke, that could take several minutes to be effective, and that's a lifetime if you're in a fight.
Yeah, you literally asking for trouble.
And also too, with a air choke like that, you also risk doing severe damage to the person's trachea and all the organs surrounding that area as well. So you could if you apply too much force, you could actually crush their trachea, and that's probably not a good thing if all you're doing is wanting to submit them. So
right.
That's why I don't understand why police, like civilian police departments, don't why they have banned the use of the blood choke, because I don't know any other humane way to submit a person, like if you take that out, it's like the only way to get someone to submit is like I don't know, pain compliance, which
you don't want to rely on that.
Well, the thing is, like if you have somebody that is high or drunk or in some kind of fucking mental state to where they don't feel pain or anything, or very little of it, then that stuff's not going to work. But what does work is a blood choke. I don't care how crazy they are or how high they are. They're going to go to sleep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it all comes. That's what we were talking. Basically, you have two methods of stop something. It's pain compliance and then it's incapacitation. And with incapacitation, you can be high on PCP all you want. Broken arm, broken legs, a broken arm, broken leg.
Yeah, but a lot of times though, people won't. Even then, they won't feel that. They'll still fight you. And
Right.
they can still be effective. Uh, and and like people are like, well, tasers, you can tase someone who's drunk and it might not work, because the thing is, the way the taser works and stuff, it has to seize your muscles up. It basically creates like a massive cramp in the muscle. But
Right.
if you're drunk or high enough, or if you're on fucking heroin where you're just like really, really relaxed, that shit won't work. And it will to a certain extent, but it won't work as effective as it should, and you'll be able to fight through it.
I'll tell you this. I've actually I've had a taser used on me, just to test just that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, would not fucking stop me at all. Then the only reason I actually was carrying one. Did I tell you, like, that's actually what I tried to use. I had like a stun baton or something. Only reason I had it was because of like the arcing thing. And for most people, usually that would at least be a deterrent. Yeah, that shit did not work at all.
Yeah.
So I'm not wrecking that at all anymore. At least I've actually had a chance to field test that now. So now I can tell you from experience it doesn't fucking work.
Yeah, and the other thing too about stun weapons is that they can always be defeated if you're wearing thick enough clothing.
Yeah.
So if you're wearing a thick coat or something like that, thick pants or some kind of thing, a helmet or something, it can be defeated through thick clothing. This won't work because you got to have penetration with the barbs, because you got to make a contact. You have to make a good contact.
Right.
So at the points. So yeah, I mean, that's always been like a thing. Pepper spray, that's 50-50, because I knew Marines that you can spray that shit in their fucking eyes. They don't care. They'll still fuck you.
I got bear mace coming on the way, by the way.
Bear mace too, dude. I've seen that, because we had to get tested, with the OC spray and stuff. We got that stuff sprayed in our eyes, and then we had to fight off two guys at once, just for practice, just to know what it's like. We had to be able to fight through that. Having that shit, and that shit burns your whole face too. Yeah, because especially when you're outside, when you're out there, you're already sweating and perspiring and stuff, because that makes it worse.
Oh yeah, because your pores are open.
Yeah, and the water actually, the perspiration, your sweat, the water, it actually makes the shit that spray activate even more, and it makes it worse.
I'll bet.
So like you're like that. So like I hated that more than anything, because like your face is burning for the whole rest of the day, and probably well into the night, even after you adequately wash it all off. And then like with the gas, like when we go in to get gas chamber and got gas, like when you come back to barracks, you gotta wash yourself off really good, but then you gotta go and wash your goddamn clothes like 2 or 3 times to get all that powder out of the clothing. Otherwise, you go to put that shit on next time, it's gonna be burning your whole body.
And he's going through it again.
Yeah, pretty much. Just uncomfortable too.
Oh god. To finish the jiu-jitsu part,
it's like having
go ahead.
I say it's kind of like walking around with a 1st-degree sunburn all over your body. That's about what it's like. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah. I'll bet. Do you know where, just to finish this part out, you know where Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu comes from?
Brazil?
I think it started like Roy Gracie or somebody out there, or somebody before him, actually. I can't remember the exact specifics. I'm just going off memory here. It's actually a watered down form of judo.
Huh.
So basically, it's basically, so like, just finish, like, there's jiu-jitsu, that's complete art. There's judo, which is kind of more along lines of sports stuff, but it's still pretty applicable, as you said. And then there's Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and then it has like other stuff added into it. and then they'll call it mixed martial arts. So that's something with that and karate. That's the major caveat that I would have with those, because you'll get a lot of McDulgers or places. Basically, there are places. Was what Juan was saying earlier. Some school like ours. Like you had to earn your belts or earn your stripes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those places, like if you pay enough, you'll get your black belt.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. You have to actually find somebody who teaches actual karate or actual jujitsu. That's why I put boxing up there too. You're not gonna. I don't think you'll find too many McBoxing dojos out there.
Because it's like you either know it or you don't.
Right.
It's like you don't have to. I don't know what the pass fail is for like civilian martial arts places. I don't even know what the fuck you call them, dude.
I don't know. Ours, basically, I think if you fail a test 3, or I think it's even 2 times now, like you get you either have a come to Jesus moment, or you get you're not excommunicated, but you're no longer allowed on the floor.
Oh,
I
wow.
think we even took out so our ranking system, it was white, yellow, orange, purple, green, brown, and black. And I think about a year after I left, Archer, he just lost all patience. He took the yellow and orange part out. I was like, okay, like we're not fucking around with this bullshit, because it's 6 months. It's 6 months in between testing. And like if somebody keeps failing a test or something, like that could be upwards of 2 or 3 years of this person wasting their time and our time, just if they're not taking it serious. It's like, nah, we're not doing this shit. But our school is an exception. You will run to a lot of these places like little 12 to 18 months. You can get your green, brown, and black belt or blue belt, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, we have I think McMap. We also had a belt system. I think it was like tan. Like everyone was a tan belt by the time they came out of basic training. But then
I think I saw a documentary or something about that a long time ago. I do remember tan belt.
Because you got a tan belt, and then I think green, gray, brown, I think, and then a black belt. And there's very few Marines there are very few Marines that reach a black belt. I heard it's fucking just brutal. But we do it based on you have to log so many hours to per belt step,
Mm.
And I think with black belts and stuff, you have to be like an instructor and stuff too.
That would make sense.
You have to be an instructor at some point. It's so they have it more. It's more set by hours logged in of instruction.
Okay.
Where you progress. So it's a lot more. It's just really streamlined and stuff like that. And and you also have and you do have kind of like a test at the end of each progression where you have to, like the one for tan belt, it's stupid. You just you basically drill instructor comes around, and it's like throw a punch, and you just throw a punch and like throw a jab, and then you have to illustrate that you can apply a blood choke properly, because you got a little meat puppet buddy with you, and you take turns choking each other out, and then if you're able to do it, then you pass.
All right.
But it gets worse from there though.
Good, as it should. The other side, when I had written down here, is Aikido. What Aikido is, what is it called? It's the way of harmony. Do means way, by the way, in Japanese. And basically what that is, it's the idea is basically to use your body, use your opponent's weight and energy against them. So like if we're like in a wrestling match or something, like you're pushing, I'm pushing, that would be, I guess, what most people are doing. Aikido would be like you push, I pull, and basically make you go in the direction that I want you to go in.
Yeah.
So that'd be one I could throw in there. But again, you'd have to find somebody who actually knows it. And that, in all honesty, that's That's for the most. That's kind of a subset, but it's still a good skill to have. The fourth one I have on here is Muay Thai. I don't know how much you know about that, but
Yeah, isn't it like a different version of variation of kickboxing or something?
yeah, it's the Thai version of kickboxing. I mean, honestly, it's very specific, and somebody brought that up in Cappy's comment section. Now the good part of that is that it's definitely it's like the other box. It's very hard contact. And there are specific techniques under that will help, and there's a lot of conditioning that goes often in the Muay Thai as well.
Oh, but yeah.
The major drawback, which this wouldn't apply to most people, like you and I might be able to figure this out, but if you know kind of the patterns of Muay Thai, like how they fight, it also becomes very predictable.
Oh.
Like the different types of kicks they do. Some of their, like their elbows, their clinches and stuff. That's why they have their hands kind of in that kind of weird, perpendicular to the ground. Like their forearms are perpendicular to the ground. Their hands are forward. There's a reason they do that, but it does get predictable. Like if you're coming from ground zero, and you're just fighting the average rando, like that's not a bad one to learn.
Oh no, definitely not. Like I said, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Something's better than nothing,
Yeah, exactly.
Better than nothing. Yeah, it's but like I don't know if I mentioned it, but like with the McMap, they teach you how to like fight with knives and defend yourself against someone with a knife and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Some
also very important.
Which like to be honest, like that stuff like with Aikido and stuff, you don't want to get that close to someone. I hate knives, dude. They're a horrible fucking weapon. Like I'd rather I don't know because
that's I guess my thought about knives, like I like knives and all that stuff. I didn't use in that last encounter I had.
Well,
my thing is like that's an assassin. That's something you use when you have the upper hand or you have the drop on somebody.
Right, and
that's an ambush weapon.
That's the thing. I don't like because it's not effective. I like it because it's too effective sometimes.
Yeah, that too. That's why I'm investing. That's why I invested in other weapons other than knives. Like I don't want to use this unless it's like a gun. I don't want to use that unless I absolutely have to.
Right. And but if you had to, like with the knives and stuff, like because knife fighting, like it's not like you see on TV. Whenever you want to fight, if you're going to engage somebody, and you have a knife, you want to pull that out at the last second. You don't even want them to know that you have it.
Exactly.
Like all this shit on TV, you see sometimes with guys pulling a knife out and they're like 10 feet away from each other, and he like pulls his knife out and he's just holding it like a fucking chud.
Oh God!
Then runs at you. That's easy. That's the only you'll only see that in movies.
You just fucking kick them.
Yeah, you just kick them in the head.
I don't know if you knew this. Knives not that effective against boots.
No, they're not, especially steel toes.
Exactly. As both of us how we know. This last one I threw this one in because the guy asked for 5 of them. And I actually had to consult my own article just to remember some of these. And this also falls under that don't find a McDojo. Kempo. And Kempo is kind of a you know about this one?
I've never heard of it.
Oh, Kempo, that's also a Japanese style martial art. Now, I guess to give the comparison, karate, like you would think more straight line, attacks, forward, side to side, rear behind you. Jiu-jitsu be kind of like you're fighting kind of tighter circles. Kempo is its main advantage is you take angles. So you basically like you're kind of moving, but you're moving forward, but you're moving to the left or right, and that's kind of how all your punches go. Specific one that I was taught was Sanuka Shrew eye to eye jiu-jitsu. I don't even know if you can find that in your area, but if you can, that's just one I thought to throw out there. Because it's something that would end up catching somebody off guard, because most people don't fight at angles.
That might be a good article for someone to write, either you or somebody else. It's how to find a decent dojo that's not like a McDojo. Y'all, like how to tell like an actual legitimate school from not.
You know what? You are not wrong, actually.
That might help people.
I'm gonna write that down. Let's see.
I don't know, because I don't have any experience with that shit, so I don't know.
No, you wouldn't have to. I mean, well, you went through a McMap, so you wouldn't have to.
Yeah, because I did. Because my grandfather and my dad taught me how to box when I was a little kid. Because my grandfather boxed in the Navy, and my dad was he was in Golden Gloves whenever he was a kid. And then
nice.
And I took a couple years. I did collegiate collegiate wrestling in high school for a few years.
That got brought up a lot in the comment section too.
It's good to know, but like I said, it's not really applicable to like a street fight, because you don't want to go to the ground. Like I said. Yeah,
that was one thing we remember. There's Terrence Pops saying, "Yeah, never go to ground." I mean, but that was the same thing we're talking. Like, okay, you can go to ground. You might want to be able to get up again, because you don't know if this guy has a knife. You don't know if this guy has a gun. And generally, if you, especially in our area, if you're getting into a fight with somebody, he's got at least 3 buddies backing him up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because like, you don't know if his buddy's coming behind you, kicking him back of the head.
Exactly. Ask me how I know.
It's just you just don't know. It's too many variables. That's why I like different. I like stuff that you can use that's accessible to as many people as possible. That's why I like that stuff with Taekwondo and stuff. I mean, that stuff, it's pretty to watch, and I'm sure it's somewhat effective.
Oh Jesus!
What?
Okay, we started on Taekwondo.
Yeah, I mean, people throwing like, "Oh, I studied Taekwondo." I'm like, all right, well, you're just wasting your time.
It's also a very predictable fighting style.
Right.
I mean, even if you do know how to use it. Speaking of which, I did want to get to the extras here. We have Krav Maga. No, that one gets brought up a lot. Now, I can't recommend it because I've never studied it, but from what I hear, it's kind of similar to McMap, like what you went through, just without the bayonets. There's Tang Soo Do. That's Joe Dolio's personal style there. Whatever he does.
Krav Maga was it's actually a fairly recent style of martial arts. It's created by the Israeli army.
Yeah, and that's one reason, if an army that's basically surrounded by enemies is teaching this, might be one to actually try to take up.
Well, it's one of those kind of things. It's one of those disciplines where it teaches people. It's just like a rapid program to put people through who don't know how to fight, and teach them some basic stuff. And the whole point of Krav Maga is kind of like McMap. It's overwhelming force. It's a violence of action, speed, and stuff like that. It goes off the preponderance of overwhelming your enemy.
All right. Yeah, so that's definitely. I mean, I can't personally recommend, because again, I've never taken, but just based off of what you're saying, what I've heard, yeah, definitely something worth looking into. And I've heard there are actually some you do get some of that McDojo stuff out of there too. So yeah, that's something you're gonna want to vet as well.
Yeah, you do a lot of that with Krav Maga, because there's really no like regulatory body over the martial art itself. It's just, you find a guy or a guy that teaches it, and maybe they do know what they're doing or they don't.
By the way, speaking of regulatory bodies, if the one for Jesus Christ, Taekwondo is?
Oh, I don't
know. World Taekwondo Federation.
Okay.
Now think of the acronym.
What the fuck? Yeah.
Can't make that shit up. I last two I have written down any weapon style. That's definitely something. If there's one way to vet your martial arts style, if they teach you how to actually use what, like, we talked about knives again. Weapon of kind of last resort. But something like kind of like a stick or broom or something like that. I mean, you may not be able to carry a gun or whatever everywhere with you. You could find sticks just about anywhere.
Yeah.
That's gonna do you a lot. That's gonna do you a lot. If you can find someone who teaches how to eskrima, silop, kali, that kind of stuff.
McMap does that too, because they part of the martial art that they incorporate fighting with your AR. I mean, what do they call it? With bayonet fighting, basically. It's
okay.
Yeah, it's basically bayonet fighting with a you have your knife attached to the front of your weapon, and you're fighting with that because you're fucked and you're out of rounds.
Yeah, and that's gonna be a little bit different. Just because of the way the weapon's weighted too.
Yeah, but it's still like, if you look at it from a basic perspective, it's still a form of like staff fighting.
Yeah,
because the blocks and strikes and stuff are are very similar.
Yeah, makes sense. Final one I have written down here now. Shit, good luck fucking finding this one. But actual kung fu.
Yeah,
I'm talking
I don't know.
The ones like the animal style, like tiger, crane, snake, mantis. There's about 8 of them, I think. I know a few of the fists. Actually, I know Hungar Southern Kung Fu, and that's specifically known for kind of like lower stances, lower like power moves, all that kind of stuff. There's a Northern. That's probably what most people think of when they hear Kung Fu. It's kind of like higher stances, like there's more in the air stuff.
Yeah, I just like the kung fu and all those fists and stuff. It's too much of like getting off into the fucking weeds with stuff, with fighting.
Yeah, it is. And I can confirm that.
It's like, you got low stance, high. Dude, I want a martial art where I can incorporate the best of everything and it's effective, and it doesn't take 50 fucking years to master.
No, exactly, and that's the real drawback. And again, that's where karate came from. Was like, I ain't got 10 years to learn one fucking specific style of fighting.
Yeah, those are like spurred martial arts.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's if you learn how to use it, it's very effective. Tiger in particular, like that's specifically meant to take out, like rows of people.
Yeah,
but that takes a while to do. That takes a while to learn.
Maybe you can practice that shit, and the dude come punch you in the back of the fucking head, and you'll be out. That's what I'm saying. It's like you can become, with any fighting style, if you become really proficient at it, of course it's going to work to a certain degree. But how applicable is it in like a street fight, like hand-to-hand fighting? Not like in a refereed setting, a controlled setting. Most fights I've ever seen, like 98% of them rarely stay up on the ground. Most of the time the guys end up on the ground fighting together. So
not something you want.
It's not something you want, no. So that's why I'm saying, like, learn boxing, learn to stay up on your feet. Because a lot of times, you'll find real fast guys that don't know how to fight. First thing they do is try to fucking bum rush you. They put their head down, they rush you.
Oh yeah, that's a classic Brazilian jiu-jitsu move. We actually I had brought that up in the class once. Defense against that.
Yeah, but they usually do it when they're like but they usually do it when they're like 6-7 feet away from you. They just lower their head like a dumb fucking animal and just run at you. And that's what I've seen. That's been my experience. It's funny as shit to see it too. And but yeah, I've seen a lot of that. And or they'll just run at you and just start swinging like windmills.
Oh god.
Yeah, and it's just like, and I've seen it. It's really funny because I've seen guys get in a fight with guys that like don't know how to fight each other, and they just start swinging at each other. And they just start windmilling, and it's like you'll see one guy just start like walk at him or run at him, just start swinging. It's like, and the other guy will take the bait and just stay in front and just start doing the same thing. I'm like, dude, why don't you just? The person is clearly not looking at you. It's like, why are you taking the bait? Just sidestep that motherfucker, kick him in the balls, you know?
Right.
Or kick him in the stomach or some shit, dude. Or like smash his knees. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things. But it's just like, I don't know, man. It's just like, I guess the adrenaline and stuff takes over.
Yeah, I mean, and there's one thing, this is one thing why I'm not going to kick myself too hard, quote unquote, for dealing with the guy the way I did. Number one, I was basically defending my car. I didn't want my windows to get busted out. That's the only reason I got into that scuffle in the first place. And two, what was it our saying? Yeah, Aichi go itchy is one that kind of wants you. It's like you only got one. Every encounter is going to be different,
Sure.
And there is actually, one fight where I actually got the upper hand on my own instructor. Though usually he just ends up kicking the shit out of me. But it was like what you say, like you can have the best training in the world, and then somebody you get hit in the back of the head with a bottle of Jack Daniels, and all that training doesn't mean jack shit.
Yeah, and more often than not, if you get hit in the back of the head with a bottle of Jack Daniels, it's not like the movies. The bottle is not going to break. Your skull is going to break.
Yeah, exactly.
Because those bottles are pretty dense, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they're empty, it's a thick glass, so it's a blunt force weapon. And I've just seen so many. I've seen some good fights though. I've seen some good fights between dudes that know how to fight, and I've been dropped by some guys that know how to fight too.
Yeah, you never think you're above the next guy. I mean, you never know what you're against there.
No, hell no.
Yeah, that's why I say, I remember this is what the guys are saying too. Like, dude, bro, because I had the stun baton out, like I was arcing. It was like, why you put it out? Why don't we have a fair fight? I was like, I don't fight fair. I don't know what the fuck you know.
No, that's bullshit. You're in a street fight, man. There's no such thing as fair fight.
Exactly.
You go get you a referee or some shit. No.
Yeah, let me get the cops to watch this here. Like. Yeah,
go get a ref or something. Go get Joe Rogan to referee. No,
if he's not refereeing a debate.
Yeah.
I got some comments I wanted to get through. There's a few of you that I think were worth reading. I don't know if you wanted to go through these or not.
Sure.
First one, BJJ, blowjob jiu-jitsu. I think that's what that stands for. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
That's what I always think of whenever I do that.
Right? That's
blowjob jiu-jitsu.
Blowjob shit. Yeah, that was always a joke.
I know a couple girls who are well into that. They're black belts in that shit. Well, fuck your foot.
They got their own version of the triangle.
Yeah.
All right. BJJ plus Muay Thai / generic kickboxing is the best base combo. I saw a lot of that there. People were saying basically it was either wrestling or blowjob jiu-jitsu mixed with boxing or kickboxing, whatever. I saw a lot of those combos coming.
Kickboxing. I think kickboxing is a legit thing to get into and to learn, even over boxing probably, because it still teaches you it still teaches you a lot of the same stuff that boxing does, but it incorporates lower body work and stuff too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something I would definitely aim for. Taekwondo is a leg specialist and cardio heavy. That's a good point about Taekwondo. That does help. It would help build up your cardio because lower leg work and stuff. That does.
Any of these martial arts are going to build up cardio.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
there's no better cardio than fighting. That's definitely. Boxing is practical punching special that's good against the majority of people. Only flaws are getting kicked in the legs or tackled to the ground, but most average people aren't trained in anything, so leg kicks are rare.
Yeah.
Again, that's why I put boxing at the top of the list.
And like with McMap and stuff, we didn't really focus on lower body, like leg strikes and stuff, because you don't want generally in a combat situation, you don't want to be jumping around and shit because it's going to put you off. It's going to put you off balance. Like the leg strikes that we did learn were lower, was like below the waist strikes, like to the knees and stuff. You didn't go above the waist with a kick.
Oh, you just made me think. I'm gonna write this down. You know where that actually comes from, and actually, this actually was a fighting style designed for women way back in the day for a very specific reason. Wing Chun. Actually, that's something Bruce Lee actually learned. Their parents, like, they do a lot of like traps and hand strikes and stuff, and they do incorporate kicks, but all of them are below the. They're like either below the knee or below the waist or something like below the waist, I believe.
Yeah, all of our leg strikes were below the few that.
And that's really good. I mean, yeah, if you start getting over that, it's fairly specific application. You need to know what the hell you're doing because you are once you pull your leg, now you're standing on one leg.
Mm-hmm.
So you either get that shit done very fucking quickly and effectively, or you're like toying with your opponent or something.
And another thing, like they didn't teach us like roundhouse kicks or anything like that because you don't want to give your back up.
That's very specific.
Yeah, you don't want to give your back up to your end because if you miss that kick, guess what? Your back is to them. You just gave up your back to them, and they can fuck you up. That gives an opportunity to fuck you up.
Oh, you must be thinking of spinning roundhouse kicks.
Yeah, shit like that. The fancy shit. They didn't teach us that shit, man. They're like, it's mainly just strikes, arm bars, wrist locks, shoulder locks. It's stuff that you can do real fast and it's effective. And another thing that they taught that was part of how we were training stuff is grip strength. Because in order to perform a lot of those arm bars, wrist locks, and joint locks and stuff is that you have to have fairly good grip strength.
Yeah, that's definitely something that's good to have. Just to make a distinction here, so there's front kicks. That's the kind of thrusting, what you would see in karate or something, or probably MAPS as well. There's a thrusting kick that means you kind of have your weight behind you. Yeah. A roundhouse kick, basically, it's a kick, and what it's meant for it's actually meant to attack somebody kind of more or less to your left or right, kind of maybe like a max of 70 to 90 degree angle. Yeah. And that can be done like kind of stand up, or there's the spinning version of it, of which that's a very specific application. Well, that's not something I recommend unless you really know what the hell you're doing, and you're basically just, like I would end up doing is like just fucking with somebody.
They also taught us knee strikes and stuff, but only when you're like close and clenched up with somebody. Knee strikes are effective as well.
Well, yeah, that's definitely up close. Now, what most people like if they're doing roundhouse, like and this is what the McJoesians will end up teaching. They'll teach you to attack somebody with a roundhouse that's in front of you, and all you have to do is just like close distance and move in because that energy is not going to connect with them. And then again, now your leg's in the air and the guy's coming after you. You're on one leg. Not a good time.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially if they catch your fucking leg in the air, like, because if they do that, someone that knows what they're doing. I mean, if you get your leg, if they physically catch your leg and their side, that leaves that other leg that is on the ground open to an attack, and you're gonna get your knee broken.
That's what I did to that fucking Taekwondo instructor. I don't know if I actually went to somebody's class, basically just fucking crashed it. And they have this whole talk about, you don't want to try to block a kick with your arm because the kicks are really strong and they'll break your arm. So it's like, yeah, that was the first fucking thing I did to this guy. Hey, he tried to throw a fucking roundhouse. I blocked and I kicked him.
I guess it can be. I guess you can break something. It just depends on how. It just depends on how you, how they kick and where it lands and on your body and how you catch it.
Well, short answer, angles. Now, if you take the full fucking brunt of it, and if you try to take the full brunt of it with the block or something, yeah, there's a chance you could get your arm broken. I mean, but you block at an angle, you basically just the deflect it. I mean,
Yeah.
pretty much just about any punch or kick stuff, like you push it a couple of degrees, and it's just you basically just make them miss air. And I don't know if you know about this, punches that end up missing, that takes a lot more energy than ones that connect.
Oh yeah, that's one of the first things they taught us in McMap. It's like a missed punch is a lot. That's a lot of kinetic energy that you just spent for no reason.
Exactly.
You get enough of those missed punches, guess what? You're gonna be tired.
So that's why I don't throw shade on shadow boxing, no pun intended. What else did he have right here?
I just carry a gun on me. I'll just shoot your ass. I'm just too old. I'm too old, dude. Like I got fucking physical debilities and shit now. I'm too old. I'm too tired. And I don't want to deal with the bullshit.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man. And I'm doing this whole thing. Like I wanted to answer the guy's question. I mean, in the end of the day, like if it really comes down to definitely that's definitely the safest way to go. Like a gun or something like that. And we even said, like, what was it? Our main grandmaster before he passed away, one of the things he said, like, only time you're going to see me fighting hand to hand is if I'm out of bullets and both of my knives are broken.
Yep.
So I understand that. I just wanted to make sure this guy's question got answered because it's a good one. So let me finish this comment here. Krav Maga / karate / kung fu is hit or miss and really depends on instructors. Goes back to the point of McDojos.
Yeah.
Plus side to these is they address X factors like weapons and multiple opponents. That's one way you would know about if they talk about that. If they incorporate weapons and talk about, it's probably going to be 3 more people around the corner.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like, I don't think there's any style of martial arts that really effectively addresses multiple opponents at once. Like our McMap instructors are like, if it's like 3-on-1, you might be better off just running. If you
that's something I wanted to bring up. I think somebody brought that up in the comments too. I mean, Kung Fu, depending on style, Kung Fu actually does teach you how to deal with multiple opponents at once.
Well, ours did too, but ours did too. But the thing is, like, more often than not, and this is what our instructors are like, you're better off just running or like trying to bottleneck your aggressors and get them one at a time. But if you're in open,
exactly. Well, I was going to adjust it. Yeah, like that was one of the tactics we taught too. Yeah, basically, exactly what you said. Like, you might want to have the cardio for this too, but you run, and basically what that does is like not everybody's going to run at the same speed. So you run far enough where you have the guy who's, I guess, the fastest. He's going to get ahead of everybody else. Then you address and dispatch him. You keep running, and then you just basically repeat that until you're done, or like you say, you can get in kind of in a bottleneck where they can't all attack you at once.
Well, you can just look at these recent riots and stuff. I mean, just if you look at how these people have been attacked anyway, it's always been by large groups, and they basically just converge on a single person all at once. You can't.
Right.
I don't care how good you are at martial arts, you can't defend against that. And I mean, either you're running or you're grabbing a weapon of opportunity to use against your aggressors. That's all. That's really your only choices. Your best choice is probably just to run.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. I mean, that's what I brought up in that DEFCON 2 thing. If you can, just get the fuck out of there. Don't be there. Jiu-jitsu is probably the best martial art, for any of this kind of shit.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
Don't be there.
A couple more here. For self-defense, I'm a kickboxer. I've had many pro fights. I've done MT. I don't know what MT stands for. Oh, Muay Thai. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
BJJ and most other martial arts you've heard of, but even I recognize most aspects of kickboxing are essentially pointless. Okay. We may have covered ground as to why he's saying that. So I recommend boxing without a doubt. Kicks are fucking useless on the street, impossible in the club or crowded place. You can slip or fall on concrete or get rushed. Not to mention most clothing is restrictive, making kicks very difficult to pull off. I'll tell you this, he's not wrong, but a caveat to that. it goes back to kind of distance. That's a great way to keep a distance on people.
If you
That's
can,
how I got out of that last situation.
yeah, if you can.
Yeah, I have plenty of training on that. You know, so I wouldn't recommend this to an absolute newbie. But yeah, you can see if you're a competent fighter, then unless you're walking to a fight gym, chances are you'll be stronger than 95% of people. 95%? Where have I heard that term before?
Yeah.
Of any room you walk into. Jesus Christ, I'm way ahead of my time. Forget about defending yourself against the other 5% because you need to run. You have to identify that first. Number one rule of street fight is always stay on your feet. Going to ground and grappling is a death wish. What if the attacker has friends? What if he has a knife or a gun? And if you're on the ground, how can you run away fast at any opportunity? You can't. Okay.
That's a legit issue. It's a good point.
Well,
Never go down in a street fight, man. Ever.
nope.
Because you just don't know. You gotta stay on your feet because you might have to bolt.
Yeah.
A lot of fights, it just ends up someone runs away, man.
Yeah, and there's the legal aspect too, you know. I think I know California is surprisingly enough is like this. I actually talked to a couple of law enforcement people up here. You know, unless the other person actively presses charges, you know, like cops, they're not going to do anything. They're not going to do that much for a fight. But, you know, you still don't want to take that. You don't want to risk having to, you know, get a court date, you know.
Yeah.
Saying, yeah, get the fuck out of there.
I think that's retarded too because it's like if you're defending yourself, it's just one of those things. It's like you're not thinking about the law. You're just thinking about, you know, saving your own life.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, well, if you kick people in the head and stuff, and that's, you know, when they're on the ground, it's like, dude.
Well, no, now it's assault. I mean, now it's not mutual anymore. You know, once you've neutralized you know, a threat or they're backing off or whatever, you know. I mean, yeah, now you're getting yourself into something sticky, you know.
Well, the way I see it is if they're still, they may be on the ground, they can still get back up. So, if they have that ability, I'm gonna keep whooping their ass until they're either unconscious or limp.
Yeah.
Or they're just, you know, they got like broken bones or something like that. They make it to where they are immobilized. But
you want to neutralize the threat. That's
sure.
I think that's what both of us are saying here.
Yeah, it's just like, but if they're neutralized, physically neutralized, they're either unconscious or they're immobile. Yeah, I mean, don't kick them in the head. Maybe kick them in the rib, but not in the head. No headshots.
Right.
But all that stuff, though, even then, it's just like when you're in a fight like that, you're in a state of like just everything's exponentially higher. You know, like your adrenaline's going and stuff like that. You're hyper focused and everything. You got tunnel vision, and I've seen guys just keep wailing on dudes after they're down just because the adrenaline rush, because they're scared. The adrenaline's going, and you know, it's just like you're not thinking rationally by then.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah, I've seen that before actually. Yeah, you're not wrong about that.
Because I've seen guys get in fights and they have to pull the guy off him because the guy's like he's like unconscious and the guy's just steady beating on him. Does he know that guy's unconscious? I don't know, but he's just in a state. He's just in a state of an adrenaline rush, and he's just pounding away, you know, because he's scared. He don't want that guy to get back up.
That's true. That's another good reason to you know, practice this stuff. And, you know, 1 or 2 classes. If you find a good place, you know, if we had somebody come in, we would always have new prospect people, like they would have their requirement was to sit through a class first, like an entire class, and then decide what crazy shit we were doing was okay for them. We had multiple parents kind of curse this out, by the way. I still remember one where someone's like they were mad at me for some language I was using. I was like, what the fuck are you gonna do about it? Literally exactly what I said to him. It's like, but you definitely want to train because again, like to your point, like you want, first of all, you don't want to ever lose control of that situation because I mean, if you're losing that much situational awareness, maybe you are in that, and where you're just beating the guy into the ground and don't even realize he's unconscious. I mean, but you start losing spatial awareness once you start getting into that. Again, guy might have friends.
Yeah.
So you want to be more in control of the situation. That's what a lot of training would, a lot of that training would go into.
Yeah, and you can't really teach that. You just gotta. That can't be taught. You just have to practice a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you need to practice that.
So that means you actually having to like get into fights and stuff. I'm not saying you gotta get in street fights, but you gotta, you just gotta practice being aware and stuff. You can do that. You can do that inside of a safe setting too.
Yeah, that would be the point of actually going to like a martial arts school or McMap like you went through. That would help with that. That's what I'm saying.
The whole point to it is just to do the most amount of damage in the least amount of time possible and to get the fuck out of there.
Maximum result, minimum effort.
You just want to get out of there because you don't want to wait around for buddies or something to show up. And more often than not, best thing to do is just run. I know it sounds like a kind of like a cowardly thing to do, but I like to refer to it as a tactical retreat.
Well, I got a story for that, and then I guess we can go ahead and close it. I think we answered this. I think we answered this guy's question fairly well. I remember this was after like I told you about the Menards, like the party rides that would end up going on.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I still miss that, man. That was a lot of fucking fun. But I was going back with those about 3 of us. I was gonna stay at my buddy's place. What the fuck? This is I can't remember what the fucking park, Lamont Park or something like that. Kind of a rougher area. There's where Magic Johnson, he had like a theater or something out there. Somewhere in the LA area. Well, these 2 guys came up to us and basically they started starting shit with us. Now my buddy, he managed to get away. Or he managed to get away first. I draw one of my blades, but I end up getting back on my bike. These guys were on foot. And they still end up chasing after me. And one of the guys got close enough where basically I did a backwards thrust and I basically put the tip of my knife like right up to his sternum. And that only pissed the guy. I was like, bro, you just try to stab me, bro. He started on, but by that time I had enough speed built up, I just fucking took off. And I remember thinking back, I even told my instructor, my classmates about it. It was like, you know what? Had I moved that about 8 or 9 inches up, that would have been directly to his desk. That's kind of me like thinking. I was like, I should have did this, I should have did that, or whatever. And then I kind of had to sit there like, dude, you got away. Like any fight you can walk away from, you did whatever it was, you did the right thing. Yeah. That could have led to, all kinds of legal issues and stuff or whatever, if I actually did damage to that guy. But I mean, again, I got away,
well,
having the legal issues.
That's why I also say, tactical retreat is usually the best option because especially as far as the laws go in most places, it's like if you're in a state of retreat, you're going to be looked at litigiously as like the guy that's, trying to defend himself. You're not going to look like the asshole. Right, exactly. Because you're trying to extricate yourself from a situation, rapidly. So, and you're trying to, and by running, you're trying to de-escalate the situation. Most of the time, most laws are like they don't really support the aggressor in a situation. It's more of a self-defense based kind of thing, Right, exactly.
I mean, there's that, and the point I was trying to make, like any fight basically you walk away that you can walk away from, legally or otherwise.
That's a win.
Yeah, that's a win. You did something right. All right. So I think we answered this guy's question here. You got anything else you wanted to add in before I close things out here?
Not really. Just stop watching fucking TV. That's part.
Oh yeah.
Because fighting is not like that in the movies at all. It's a shitty situation, and best thing you do is just try to get out of it as fast as possible.
Oh yeah, I got a comment here. Yeah, it says it's not. This is not reality UFC TV people. Yeah, what you see on TV, if it's on TV, look. That's not real life. That may there may be actual consequences. Like maybe somebody may get knocked out or choked out or whatever. In an octagon or ring or whatever. That does not apply to your street situation. Understand? These guys are kind of. They may be trained. They're not going to fight like the way they fight on TV. Even if they do know how to fight or wrestle, whatever, that's not how they're going to fight on the street. That shit does not apply. So if you think you're getting your fighting advice from Hulu or Netflix or ESPN or whatever, you're going to have a bad time. Let's just put it that way.
Another thing you also have to consider too is that usually most street fights, you're not wearing gloves or anything or any kind of hand protection.
Oh, there's that. I'm glad you brought that up.
And your hands aren't wrapped either. So if you do get into a fist fight or something like that, you can be assured to expect the next day your hands are going to be swollen. If not, you're going to have some broken knuckles and fingers.
Yeah. Conditioning is a big part of that. That's one reason I brought Muay Thai in there. They do a lot of conditioning. We did the same thing too. You also have to learn how to punch too, because if you punch the wrong, that's why boxers and UFC people, whatever, that's why they wrap their wrist. If you punch the wrong way, now you can end up fucking your wrist up.
Absolutely, because your hands really aren't meant to fight with, evolutionarily speaking. You got a lot of, because you got the finger bones and stuff and the wrist bone. They're fairly small, fragile bones. They're not really meant to fight with them, but yet, what else we got? I mean, you can but you got to do what you. And the thing about, like if you like bare knuckle fighting and stuff like that, and you're not, you can expect to have the next day some swollen hands. Even if you do it right, you're gonna have swollen hands and joints because your hands are not conditioned. And they're really not meant to take those kind of impacts and stuff like that. And the thing is, it's like, you can break your hand on someone's jaw.
Yeah, I think that's when we taught against hitting somebody in the jaw. I think for that exact reason. I'll give Taekwondo this one. I'll give him a little bit of a break, because I think that was the defining philosophy behind it. I understand Taekwondo. I think it was meant to fight samurai on horseback. That's why they had a lot of those high kicks and stuff. But it was the point you were making. Like your hands are useful like as tools to do other stuff. If you fuck your hands up, you can't do a lot of other things.
Yeah.
So they would use their feet instead.
Yeah.
Now, if you fuck your feet up, there's also a lot of things you can't do. But I understand where they're coming from.
Yeah, there's trade-offs. It's there's trade-offs for sure with doing that stuff, and it's just the other thing too is like always guard your jaw. Like if you're in always guard your fucking jaw, man. Like don't keep your fucking hands up at all times.
Oh yeah.
Don't drop your elbows. Don't drop your hands away from your face, because especially with someone with bare knuckle punches, man, it don't take much to hit your jaw unless you got like a really steel kind of jaw. I've known some guys that do, but still though, I mean, it's very, very possible. And I've seen one shot and out, one hitter quitters, and it doesn't take much either. It don't take that much force to hit someone in the jaw just right, and they're lights out.
Nope. I remember there was one thing we actually taught. It only takes like maybe 9 or 10 psi to break just about any bone. But it depends on how you hit it.
Yeah, and it's like the thing with like boxers. Like you see boxers fight each other, and they get hit in the face and in the jaw and stuff. But you gotta understand those are padded gloves too. You know, those are padded gloves, and it's totally different from whenever you don't have gloves on.
Right.
But yeah, I don't like bare knuckle. I've been in those situations. The next day, my hands hurt like hell, and they hurt for a while too. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, thanks for coming on, boy. So, I had I had USMC hand to hand. I had that written down. As kind of an extra that I know is probably pretty good, but I have no personal experience with. I'm glad you came on to talk about that and just about everything else. There's some stuff in there that I didn't think of.
Yeah, the other thing I was wanting to add real quick. It's funny, like with McMap, we have we usually get your every basic Marine that comes out of basic training has that tan belt, but honestly, that tan belt doesn't really mean shit because that they teach you just enough with the tan belt to get you in trouble. It's like giving kids dynamite. They're like, oh, I can throw punches now and I can do blood chokes, and then they go and they start getting into fights because they think they know shit and they get their ass handed to them.
That's what we called our yellow. So we called our yellow belts.
Yeah,
you know just enough to go get yourself into trouble.
Yeah, you really do.
Ask me how I know.
Honestly, it's like you don't really with McMap, you really don't get it really effective until you probably hit like your gray or green belt. When you
Just, real quick, is there an actual like kind of a maybe not strict but kind of a timeline as to how long you train on those?
Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't remember what it is anymore. But there's a certain level of hours for each progression to progress to the next one. There's a certain amount of training hours that you have to put in, and it increases with each one. And like I said before, there's like a test at the end in order to progress to the next belt. I can't remember because it's almost been like 20 years, so I don't remember. And it's probably changed by then, so I don't want to lie to you about that. But
all right. I just thought I'd ask.
Yeah. You got to put in so many hours.
And he's gone. Oh, there he is. All right. I think he needs to start. Laura's going to need to start stacking some sandbags over there. I think the hurricane's coming.
Oh, really?
Not like the Air Force stacks of yours. It's just on the front door.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, that's funny. That's typical Air Force.
That's fucking classic.
It's funny. Yeah, that's one of the funny things about the military. We're always bagging on each of the branches. They all got their thing, You got the chair.
You know if any of the other I'm sure maybe the UK probably does this too. Like any of the other armed forces, they do that to each other.
What, like in other countries?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure they do. I don't see why they wouldn't, man. Because like if we do it here, you can ask Ryan Stone about that because he was in the Navy. I make fun of him for being in the Navy. Because I was a Marine.
In fairness,
I don't know if they have Canadian Marines. I know they got British Marines, but
they also have the Special Air Service too.
Yeah, that's the SAS. Those guys are pretty awesome. They used to. I don't know if they still do it, but they incorporated a lot of our schooling for Marine Scout snipers to teach their snipers and shit.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, and they also I don't know if SEALs have it anymore. I think they have their own sniper program, but
and SEALs. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but before that they used to send a lot of their sniper training over the Marine Scout snipers for training, and sniper school.
Huh.
I don't know if they do it anymore, but I know I've heard they used to do it because before they had a really good pro. And most of those places they basically copy pasted the our sniper program in the Marines. So
well, you know what they say, best what was it? What the fuck is it? What is it called when you steal something from somebody else?
plagiarism.
Imitation.
Yeah, imitation.
Plagiarism.
Imitation is the highest form of flattery. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, I had it on the tip of my tongue. I couldn't get it out.
But
I'll take that as a sound bite.
Yeah, it's there it goes again.
Oh boy.
Jesus.
All right.
Fucking radio. I gotta go build a fence.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm assuming you got some sandbags or something to stuff there too. I gotta go send next Schuler. I ended up packing a speaker with me. I'm gonna go send that back to him. I'm gonna go earn some money.
Yeah, get on that corner, boy. Shake that ass.
Exactly. And go fight off some skateboarders again.
Skateboarders in the octagon. That sounds fun.
Huh, sounds like a movie title.
Yeah.
Well, all right, man. Thanks for coming on. By the way, again, blow us a plug here. He does do razors here. Razors that are over a century old. So you buy and go to etsy.com/shop/Lazarus Razors, as in the guy that was risen from the dead in the Bible that is holy. Not only we get a good product, you'll have a piece of history in your hands, for a decent price. So go check his stuff out. Do you have a website? Or you just still have a Etsy?
Yeah, I'm still on Etsy. I don't know if I intend to move off of that site sooner or later, but not right now.
All right.
I'm gonna wait till I have a little bit more stuff to offer, because I want to get into offering some shave brushes and some actual shaving kits, ready to go for guys.
Huh.
So they don't have to, because I've had several people email me and message me and stuff. They're like, they were wanting to know where they can get like the brushes and the cups and stuff like that, and the soaps. And I hate to send them off my site, but I didn't intend for this. This is just a hobby that got out of hand, really.
That's how a lot of good business ideas get started. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and it was just a hobby that kind of got a little out of hand. So, I'm working on trying to get some nice shave brushes and stuff so guys can use that doesn't break the fucking bank, because there's a lot of kits out there that's like $200-$300 and
holy shit, just a shave.
Yeah, they're like $80, $90, $100. I want to try to, and to me, I mean, it shouldn't cost that much to have a decent shave, but I just want to put together like a general low budget shave kit for guys just to get into get them away from those cartridge razors, and you don't have to go full straight razor, and so one of the things I'm also doing is trying to find some traditional double-edged safety razors to sell as well. So I got to find a supplier for that. That's decent.
All right. That sounds like it's going to take a little bit more work than what you're doing now too.
Yeah, and money too,
money. Yeah, definitely. All right. All sounds good. Oh, one thing I probably should have asked this before. I'm using the what do you call it? Just the headset that came with this device. Apparently, it's still just picking up my my audio through the fucking phone's mic. Do I still sound robotic?
No, you sound fine.
Oh, okay. All right, good. All right, cool. At least we got that problem solved.
Yeah, you still sound like a dork. Don't worry about it.
I'm gonna sound like that no matter what. So.
Yeah.
It's just if I'm intelligible one, that's all.
Well, you're more intelligible now than normal because I guess you're sober.
Well, Well, there's that too.
But only slightly more.
Only slightly more. See,
Just a coach.
I told you it's not the liquor, man.
You still sound like you got a touch of fetal alcohol syndrome.
It's just it's the what do you call it? It's the consequences of learning not to go to ground firsthand. That's what it is.
Yeah, a hard lesson. Shit.
Oh yeah. All right, man. Have fun digging the fence posts and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, is the hurricane gonna pass through Houston, or is it just kind of gonna be like a glancing blow?
Nah, it's just a glancing blow. We're just getting the wind from it. So.
Oh, all right, cool.
I'm getting rain or anything.
All right, cool, man. Glad to hear that.
Did you know they started naming these fucking hurricanes like after the Greek alphabet? When did that shit start?
I don't know. I was surprised when I heard it was called Hurricane Delta.
Yeah, because the one before that came around here, it was called Beta, and I'm like, why are they doing that? Is that a name of somebody? I don't know.
That would suck to have Hurricane Beta out of all the fucking names destroy your fucking house, man. That would be fucking terrible.
Couldn't be much worse than Hurricane Alpha.
Right? I mean, well, that's a different hurricane entirely.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Jesus.
Or Hurricane Gamma.
Or or Omega, wherever the fuck else they fucking come up. I guess they just ran out of names.
Yeah, I don't know what you do after that.
No idea. All right, man. Take care over there.
All right, you too.
All right. As always, everybody, till next time, stay ready, keep it tactical, and above all else, be chaos, my friends.